Dr. Jerry Chan, the chairman of the Penang Real Estate Housing Developers Association, Yang Berhormat Jadi Simdio, the Penang State Exco member for housing, Dr. Teo Poh Huat, the director of Agriculture Malaysia, Dato' Haji Abdul Malik Yang Qasim, the Penang State Exco member for religious affairs, the sponsor also from Prof. Majipah, as well as members of press, and of course the Executive Committee of PIDA. Ladies and gentlemen, selamat pagi and salam bersih everyone. First, let me wish everyone a happy Chinese New Year. 祝大家新年快乐，生意兴隆，财源广进，身体健康。I'd like to state that I also celebrate Chinese New Year. I mean, especially since, after all, I'm the only Chinese Chief Minister in Malaysia. Definitely, I celebrate Chinese New Year. But if you read some of the papers, as if that the Lim Guan Yin doesn't celebrate Chinese New Year. And I think this because I got calls from friends of station. They are wondering whether that I do. Is it because of Dr. Sri Anwar's imprisonment that I call off the open house in spite? And they ask these questions because it was not reported in some national Chinese newspapers, as well as in the, of course, in the BN media. They want to know that. They don't do that. So I'd like to say that I think you all know that Jerry was there yesterday. We continue with our open house. I mean, even though we are upset about what happened to Dr. Sri Anwar, but we still celebrate Chinese New Year. And for those friends outside who did not know because they did not read about it, probably ask them just go to Facebook. You go to Facebook, then you know what are the activities that we are doing. So I would just like to clarify that. 我是要因为有一些朋友从外地的问，你是不是今年因为安华的事件没有有这个新春大团拜？我说有啊，每一年有啊，因为他们有可能没有注意到，所以我在这边我只是要强调，当然成为唯一的华裔首席部长，我每一年会举办新春大团拜初一，大家也是有出席过，但是有可能外地朋友因为没有看到这些报道，就以为因为安华的事件我们就没有办。我们要再强调说，我们还是照样办。虽然我们对安华的事件，我认为这是个冤案，但是我们还是迎接新年，所以有可能最好是叫我们的那些读者、支持者，如果要知道我们的活动，最准确的、最正确的是根据我们的Facebook， 我们的面指数，然后面指数才能够拿到正确而准确的这个信息，所以就是只是一个交代一个交代吧。So first, let me thank Rida Penang and Henry Butcher Penang, together with Prof. Majipah, as the organizers co-organizers for the Malaysian property exhibition for Penang, and in conjunction with the Year of Hope. So we hope that this year would be a good year for the property developers, and your theme, a new year, a new home, definitely is in line with our efforts to ensure that genuine, qualified first-time buyers are able to own a home under our new housing rule, which took effect from 1st February 2014. Now, this ruling is intended to protect existing and emerging affordable housing stocks, curb speculation, and assist the low-income group to have a roof over their heads. According to the Malaysia House Price Index, Penang House Price Index has risen from 116.6 in the third quarter of 2003 to 218.2 by the third quarter of 2013. Penang has seen the rise in property prices doubling since 2003. House prices have increased by 8.6% annually, whilst the average household income has increased by 5.4%. This means house prices have increased faster than income, leaving an affordability gap. And in our effort to help everyone own a home, especially the lower income groups, the state government does not only rely on rhetoric, we practice what we preach. And that is why we have allocated 500 million ringgit for our affordable housing and public housing fund, the largest fund to build affordable and public housing by any state government in Malaysia and in the history of Malaysia. No other state government has allocated such a huge sum. And this sum, 500 million, we hope will be able to build 22,545 units of public and affordable housing in all the 5 districts of Penang. Just not in SPS, Batu Kawan, but also all the 5 districts, including, of course, in Georgetown. And we know that with patience, when these projects they are launched, started, earthworks, and of course are completed, we are confident that together with the private sector, who also contribute a similar amount of houses, we should be able to meet the rising demand amongst Penangites. Of course, the GST doesn't help us, and this is very challenging. But in facing these challenges, especially in terms of GST, in terms of building depreciation, causing prices of building materials to rise, in facing other economic downturns, we appreciate and are grateful for the efforts of Penangites to make these effects less harsh. We know that because of GST, the economy has already slowed down. Everyone knows that, especially the retail sector. So even before 1st of April, the economy has already slowed down. When the 1st of April hits us with the imposition of 6% GST, I think things will be worse. But we have ratified that the predictions amongst the real estate specialists and experts have identified 2 bright spots in Malaysia for the real estate sector. And one of these bright spots is, of course, Penang. So there are 2 bright spots, and they feel that these 2 bright spots will still be able to face and even weather this economic slowdown. So this was the latest report I read, not only in the Age, but also in other real estate property analysis. So we hope that the housing developers in Penang can take heart. I think you know this better than me. If you haven't seen that report, I will refer that report to you. In the Age, when it mentioned 2 bright spots. So if you have read the report, you will know which is the other bright spot. If you don't know, that means you have not read the report. And of course, an earlier report that compared Penang with other cities in Malaysia. And the analysis and the conclusion again is the same. That Penang is able, again, to better withstand any slowdown. Principally because we control the supply and the stock of houses available. So if you compare to other places, the amount or the number of houses, the supply of houses exceeding demand is almost the same. There is a surplus gap, no doubt, but very slight compared to other places. So I think that also is a result of the property developers being very market sensitive, being very smart, and because you are fully informed, you know when to launch, when to release, when not to launch, and when not to release. Of course, the state government plays our part, but still finally you are the one who decide when or when not to launch. So I think if you look at these two analyses, I think there's a lot of truth in these two reports. The main reason they say that the demand will continue to be strong in both reports is because of the efforts of job creation by the state government. You know, you look at our investment numbers. We have attracted 40 billion ringgit over the 6 years period. I think last year the investments number will also be better compared to the previous years. And when you talk about investment coming in, don't forget that it creates